Welcome back. This morning, we're giving a voice to victims and remembering Iryna Zarutska. The 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee came to America with her mom, her sister, and her brother to escape the war. Iryna was brutally stabbed to death on a Charlotte area transit system light rail train. And we want to warn you, the footage you're about to see may be disturbing, but you will not see the actual stabbing. Iryna enters the train. She then goes and she takes her seat. The man in the red hoodie is the suspect. After a seemingly uneventful ride, about 4.5 minutes pass by, and then you see him suddenly get up. And what we're going to do is we're going to freeze the video right before Iryna is stabbed to death. Police say that this perp struck her 3 times. 34-year-old Decarlos Brown Jr. is the man in custody for this crime. He's charged with first-degree murder. Here to discuss, jury consultant and human behavior expert Susan Constantine is with us, and retired police lieutenant Mike Gould. Good morning to you both. Susan, little known fact about you, you're a licensed trainer in something called dangerous demeanor and threat assessment. And so when you look at this video, tell us what you see, please.
Well, the first thing that I see is that when she walks in, the lack of situational awareness that she has in front of her. She scans slightly in the front, but then she takes her seat. The person behind him, the one in the red, of course, the stabber, he is different from anybody else on that bus or wherever it is they are. That's what we call an anomaly. What we're seeing here is that when we see she doesn't scan, she just sits down, she is a soft target for him. He is positioned there purposefully for someone to take a seat right in front of him. When you're looking at his behavior, there are behavioral signatures that we look at. First of all, that he is trying to appear inconspicuous. He is camouflaging his appearance. Look at everybody else. He's the only one with a hoodie. When she came into the room, what I would recommend, or especially for women and men, is that you scan around you and have situational awareness and don't sit in front of someone like that. You sit behind them or move somewhere else. So when we see his body language, there's things that we're looking at. First of all, he is concealing his face. We're seeing that. He's turning his head away, but we see this movement in his body. You'll see his hands doing this. That is contemplation. He's considering, he's contemplating, he's rubbing his head, he's still a form of concealing, manipulators. He's thinking right now. He's got voices in his head that's saying, attacker, attacker. And then there's part of he actually shakes his head no. So he's got this incongruency between what he's thinking. There's 2 voices he's hearing, his voice and the evil voice. And the evil voice is saying, stab her. She's the soft target. Plus, she's the only Caucasian on that entire, in that location. So she stood out. So there's multiple things that I saw that was going on in here because it was melting into the background. His movements and his body language was suspicious. This is an anomaly. When something doesn't look right, it's not right. And that is about as simple as it gets. Stay away from anyone that looks suspicious. And if it's judgment, let it be. On top of, look at all the tattoos. Everything that he has lived in his life is all presented right here, is a billboard. So there's multiple indicators of what we call dangerous demeanor, a pre-attack.
Susan, fascinating insight. Thank you. Lieutenant Gould, what's your insight from a law enforcement perspective? You patrolled the streets of New York City, a massive transit system there, as we all know. Tell us what you see as you assess this video, please.
Well, I agree with Susan 100%. Situational awareness for all of us, not just the police, everyone. We all have seen this person somewhere, whether it's the streets of Atlanta, streets of New York City. The transit system is a magnet for the homeless and mentally ill. Why? Because it's cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So it's a magnet. And now we're trapped in there, similar to the Daniel Penny case. So if you, as Susan said, this woman walks on, sadly, she has her earphones on, everybody's texting, nobody's looking around. When I get on a train, I situate myself where my peripheral vision can see everything. And including, like Susan said, this is an anomaly. It should stand out like a sore thumb. But if you look at the video, everybody's on their phones. Nobody has any sense of situational awareness. So I would have been either on the back of that train car or standing up. I'd rather stand for the 10-minute ride, even though there's seats available. So everybody's kind of oblivious to their surroundings, and they have tunnel vision. They're not using their peripheral vision to scan the possible dangers and anomalies.
Right. Lieutenant, thank you for that. I was hoping you would touch on this, because I think if we can do anything, we can try to learn, help ourselves. I mean, there's nothing we can say or do to bring this beautiful young lady back. This is awful, shouldn't have happened, period, end of story, but it did. So as I continue to watch that video, and I watched it several times, and you see other passengers noticing about him having the knife. You hear one guy say he's got a knife, and you see one guy kind of moving away from him. Let's say, should any of us find ourselves, God forbid, Lieutenant, in a situation where there's someone with a weapon that's visible on one of these train cars, what do you recommend we do?
Well, because there's no police presence there, back in the days when crime in New York City was out of control, that's when the New York City Police Transit started deploying uniformed police with canines in the subway system, and it had a tremendous deterrent effect. So number one, you got to get out of there. You know, you're like a trapped sardine, unfortunately, because you're in this train car. This aluminum can, so you got to start backing away, because it's not somebody that I think anybody should physically confront. They should have obviously provided first aid immediately. That's the sad part to this. She might have survived this, or I'm assuming the injury was to a carotid artery or a jugular vein. So there's not much you can do except get yourself in a place that you can easily. I'd be standing right by the doors. To this day, if you see me on a subway platform, my back is against the stanchions, and I can scan the entire platform or the entire train. So it's a sad day, but it's just another sad day. You know, this is going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen. It was only last year that in New York City subway, people were being set on fire and pushed in front of the train. Now the National Guard, as controversial as that is, they're deployed in Penn Station, armed National Guardsmen, and I'll tell you what, that's a relief for me. When I walk through Penn Station and I see them, I'm relieved that they're there, and crime has gone down because of their visual omnipresence, their uniform presence.
Really helpful insight, Lieutenant. Susan, back to you. Tell me, in any situation we find ourselves in, what are some things us lay people who aren't experts in dangerous demeanor assessment, what can we do to try to spot somebody on the street who may be trying to do us harm?
I'm going to recommend a book for everybody, and he's been on your show before. It's A New Superpower for Women, but men can use it too. It talks about what zones you should stay in when you're getting in and out of your car, in and out of a transit system, and contact me for iAlert or alert training and for scans training, so that I can teach you, because I literally just came from a 2-hour meeting at my church regarding putting on an entire training program for churches in our area. So please contact me so that we can help you and educate you and train you and get you aware of, because right now, and I'm sure my colleague will agree, there is nowhere where it's safe.
So true. That is sad, but very true. A great discussion with you both. We'll leave it here for now. Susan, Constantine, thank you kindly. Lieutenant Gould, stand by, please, for more questions on another case. As we head to break, we want to remember the victim in this senseless tragedy. 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska was hoping to build a new life for herself here in America. She had a love for the arts, for animals, and for learning. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to her family as they grieve this irreplaceable loss. We'll be right back.